Nothing.
Okay.
What about the?
Can people hear us?
What
Me specifically?
is Gary echoing?
God.
Echoing. It's good. I know that's me. That's just me saying the word echoing. Gary actually echoing though. Gary
Turned off his fucking mic.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna try one more thing.
Yeah, you echo. Wait, I have to sync up. 1, 2, 3. Ooh.
I want to say that took 5 seconds for you
It
to sync
did,
up.
yeah. It was a little delayed there. That's
So
weird.
it's like a 5-second delay.
It was.
That's worse than I usually am.
Okay. Am I still
Seems better now. It seems better now, but now I'm echoey too.
I'm not sure if I'm echoing.
Now I'm echoing.
Talk now. Okay. Awesome. I hear you too.
Kairos is just stuck in a time loop.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Why are people echoing to you all? Like what in the fresh hell?
Yeah. It sounds so weird.
What? No. Like what?
Well, now I'm not echoing anymore.
You're not.
But you still are. You're like ethereal.
Un momento.
Wait. Wait a sec.
Still echoing.
That's weird.
Blah blah blah. No as in no echo, or no as in everything's terrible.
Good.
I like good.
We're good.
Good is good.
Live is good. Seems normal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bump you guys just a smidge.
I think we're good. I was confused because I thought I was muting. I thought I was muting all our audio.
No.
Wow.
I mean, that's normal. I can't fix that. That's the Lord's work.
Lord did a good job there.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. S tier.
Jesus.
OP tier.
And a half hour later, we get started. The fuck.
Oh, good stuff.
Right. Well, thanks. Thanks for hopping in, joining, chatting along while I tear everything to the studs.
No, you look younger. Thanks.
It's that baby.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought I was supposed to age you more. Guess I was wrong.
They are the essence of life, after all.
What was that?
None of your business.
That sound was terrifying. What the actual
Who was that?
guy?
What? Who was what?
That's all Gary. That's all Gary. I would never do such a thing.
No, I think that was
thought it
Lunar.
Was How dare you accuse me of tomfoolery?
The Tomish of foolery.
Kind of sounded like it was you.
What?
I'm just saying.
I am not that low on the scale, man. Listen. You would not catch me dead making those sounds.
Slurping's an art form.
Scale.
Wait a minute.
Admit it.
Anyway, D&D. D's and D's.
Yes.
So you two, as the only two part of the this particular broadcast, due to rampant sickness and disease running through the other two people.
Light.
So let's recap. So Kairos, the last time we saw you, you decided to pick up a couple of well, actually, you all went to go see Lars. You turned in for the night, and you've been sitting in your room studying.
Yes.
Like a good boy. While Vivian, you had an interesting night on the town. If none of you know what that means, go watch the last fucking broadcast. So you both have actually ended up back at Lars's house through either a lack of leaving or some other means. It's about a little past midday, maybe in the 1-2 p.m.-ish time frame. Kairos, you've been going through these books for hours since the crack of dawn, if not earlier.
Yeah.
And you can hear movement outside of the bedroom that you're stationed in.
Okay. I guess Kairos would kind of snap to, like his attention being pulled out of the zone, as they say, and he kind of like, it's almost like when you're waking up after like a 10-hour sleep, where you're just kind of like groggy, like, you know, like he literally has not eaten, he has not had anything to drink, he has not changed, he has not showered, he just literally went and started reading those books, and like that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of just snaps out of it and groggily gets up and just kind of, if I assume there's not like a peephole, so he like cracks open the door and peeks outside, the light blinding his eyes,
reflecting off your glasses like every anime protagonist there is.
Right.
Outside, you see shuffling about the hall is obviously Lars. It's his house. But you can see kind of from your doorway downstairs into the main living area is Vivian.
Now, I, full disclosure, have no idea what happened in the last stream or mini stream.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's fine. That's how we like it here.
What is the appearance of Vivian?
Yes.
Vivian actually looks pretty standard by all accounts. Tired, but relatively normal. I believe you're still wearing like remnants of your makeup, maybe your veil.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything
Definitely.
else?
I guess the thought probably strikes him like it's only, you said it was like 1:30ish, early afternoon, 2, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thought would strike him like, hey, we're not, one, I didn't go to work, but also that she's back from work. So he might just be like, oh, hello, you're back from work already. Sorry, I didn't come in. I was a little bit distracted this morning. And he just looks like total shit. He has not slept. He has not done anything.
Yeah, it looks.
It's like an absolute mess.
Now, question, just to make sure that I'm correct on this.
Mm-hmm.
When I came back, is that said person in the room?
I would expect at this time of day. So you left him in the room for a short period of time, but you did end up awaking him. So I would assume out and about right now.
What?
Oh, he's out and about?
I would assume with you.
Oh, with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe he's just hiding because he heard someone else approaching, I'm assuming, possibly.
Yeah.
All right. But,
So, Kairos, do you actually go downstairs?
Yeah. If he sees Vivian, he'd probably go down just because he's curious about why. I mean, he knows why he's not at work. He's curious why she's not at work.
Okay.
Well, afternoon. It's the afternoon, right? Anyways, I guess it doesn't matter. I actually didn't go to work. I had a bit of a rough night, and I haven't slept at all. Why didn't you go to work?
Oh, I was reading. books.
Oh wait, those books you found in the closet.
He just nods. They're very interesting. I guess I got lost in them. Hopefully we don't get
Anything
fired.
useful? Well,
Um,
about that, you might need to go check in because I almost got fired. I went to check in today to go in at least late, and they did not appreciate that. So you might be worse off than I am because you didn't show up. Period.
that's unfortunate. Did you tell them any excuse, or am I free to make up my own?
Make up your own because I tried to semi tell them what happened with me, and he was very upset. Like I even saw the guy outside; he was heavily tapping his foot, and as soon as he saw me, his tapping went faster.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah,
we'll deal with that.
he had some words.
We'll deal with that another time. I suppose it's not that important. If we lose our jobs, we'll just work at the mines.
That's your only other option. You're going to get thrown into the mines if you don't show up. So
that's
if
fair.
you don't show up today, it's kind of late. I would definitely come with us for a thing tomorrow morning.
He's nodding. He's debating on whether or not he would go today and just feign like he's got a tummy ache. But
I wouldn't lie.
He just kind of like shakes his head and is like, well, we can deal with that another time. But in terms of the books, there's a lot of fascinating information. None of it necessarily useful at the moment, but possibly in the near future. Depends on the circumstances we find ourselves in. Fascinating
Anything
ledger
about
on the golems, though.
Interesting, but anything about like any type of like markings or groups of people in those books, by chance?
I mean, Gary, I know what you gave me, but would there be anything like that in there?
Nah.
Okay. No.
Just want to double check to make sure.
No.
Well, I appreciate your honesty.
So, Kairos, give me what's your passive perception?
Let's find out. It's not good.
Same here. Spellcasters, shit perception, man.
Yeah.
Where is it on my attributes?
It's 10 plus your perception modifier.
Oh.
It's not explicitly written out.
10.
Solid. All right. Give me uno segundo.
You're actually worse than me because I think mine's an 11.
So
Kairos is smart. He is not wise.
Kairos, while you're having this conversation with Vivian, you hear a very faint noise in the kitchen, almost like a can falling over onto the floor.
How far away is the kitchen?
Not far at all.
He would probably be taken aback and like kind of have his little like tool out in front of him ready to like do a shield.
That's inappropriate.
And he would just be like,
Cheese.
Lars, is that you?
Lars yells from upstairs.
I know.
What do you want?
He looks at Vivian.
Oh, okay. And she raises her hands up defensively because she assumes that the boy is in the kitchen. Yeah, probably. Okay, so about last night, I found a boy, a young boy. He needs help, and I might have taken him under my wing for the foreseeable future. And he's probably in the kitchen getting food.
I can name a half dozen things that you're going to jail for just with that one sentence.
I know, right?
Yeah, you see this like blank
smart.
stare on Kairos's face, and he just like isn't responding. He's just kind of like staring, almost like he's like passed out, but it's still standing up. I guess he's just kind of like, I'm sorry, you found a child and brought them here. Why?
Yes, I know what it sounds like. I promise it's not that bad in that sense.
Isn't it?
It's not. I swear. I don't know how to explain this. I haven't. Lars, yes, he knows. He knows. I promise.
He's okay with this.
I talked to him. Yes, he helped me out. Try to figure out some things for him.
Okay. It's not
But
really any of my business. I don't personally care what you do, but I'm curious. Are you he like looks around and leans in. Are you going to eat him?
God no.
It's a good
And
question.
you see her, she kind of like grasped at her chest, kind of like almost offended.
Well,
Like
I'm sorry.
I'm
I
not,
had to ask. The teeth, the claws, the bones. I just
I mean,
had to make sure I
and
understood what the circumstances were, because things could have gotten very dicey very quickly. Otherwise, I just wanted to check. So, what's the plan
I
then? How did
well,
you find? I don't actually care. What's the plan with
I,
him? I'd like to be rid of them as much as
I
quickly as
oh,
possible.
there's so many. I can't just get rid of him. There's a lot. Oh my god, I don't even know how to
What
start. And you just see her start
if
pacing back and forth. What?
let's
I'm
send him
sorry. What?
let's
What
send
if?
him
What
to our
if?
employer? What if he needs work?
I already taken care of that.
Oh, well then why is he here?
That's the part I'm trying to figure out how to explain because I haven't even explained myself and I don't even know what to do about him yet because I'm really trying to, focus on him and protect him because, everything that's been going on with me. And you just see her walking back and forth more quickly across the floor. She is full panic mode.
Yeah, he's
And
not even gonna stop to get you to be like, calm down. He's just like nodding, like, yes, go on, like continue.
Uh, so as you two are
okay,
just going back and forth in this
This manic
oblivious and
conversation.
anxious tirade, Kairos, you see out of the corner of your eye a tuft of bright red curly hair peeking out around the doorway. As you see this young
ginger.
boy looking at you before he slowly like exits the kitchen to like stand beside/behind Vivian, kind of clutching her hand in both of his.
It's the kid from
and
Brave.
she will firmly
Shut up.
grasp.
Shut up. I put it together
She'll firmly grasp
and I got it too late.
to be safe.
So, what age does this kid look like?
A little less than 9
Okay,
ish.
that picture looked like a 4-year-old, but okay.
Shut up. He's baby face.
There's
a
What's
real
his
boy.
baby fat yet?
Is this kid just like covered in dirt and stuff? He's just full on street rat,
He's got rags. It looks like he's wearing like bits of fabric kind of haphazardly sewn together in various places. It looks like there were rips in his shirt that were mended. He doesn't look like he owns really many clothes of his own.
And what's his demeanor?
Shy. Very shy.
He kind of sees him peeking around the corner and is like, "You might as well come out. We know you're here. I'm not going to hurt you. I've established that we're not going to eat you, so that's one less worry."
Kairos, please don't mention
Yes.
the word eat.
At least you won't.
Don't.
Who?
What?
Well, Kairos, this is Waylon. Waylon, this is Kairos, one of my friends that I travel with.
He kind of gives you like a half wave, just hi.
Waylon, we can do better than that. Okay. Hi.
And also, when
Kairos.
Waylon didn't come out to stand behind me, she would have stopped pacing.
So
immediately
circling
kept him
back,
on the defensive stance.
who's going to eat you,
Yes.
Waylon?
Huh?
No one's going to eat him.
I mean,
But
the
why
world's a weird place. Anyone could try to eat me.
This is what I've been trying to tell her, but
That's not going to happen.
I'll eat. He starts to say
Just a
something
kid.
and then stops himself.
This kid is sus,
Listen,
man.
You're sus.
Here. Emergency button. Anyways, she will carefully walk over. There's obviously like couches and chairs down here near the kitchen and the living area, right?
They're not the best quality, but yeah.
She will go ahead and take a deep breath, let it out, walk over to one of the couches and sit down with Wayland. Maybe it's about time we have a talk between you and I, Kairos. Wayland, you can stay here because this involves you now too.
The church already gave me this talk. I don't want to.
Oh no.
No, he doesn't listen, Wayland, he doesn't know. You know what I mean? And I, point towards my mouth,
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. You're fine. Yeah, but Kairos, why don't you have a seat?
He kind of looks like, I've been sitting all day, actually. I should probably be standing, blood clots and all.
Uh,
But please. And he actually, like,
Well,
if the kid looks bored at all, or is like poking around things, like just to get him to settle down and maybe like shut up if he's making a lot of noise, he would probably, if I don't know if that'd be true or not, but if it is, he'd probably pop out Ion within the house and just kind of like have Ion interact with Wayland, just to keep him occupied while the adults are talking.
He more or less keeps to himself, but if you choose to still pop out Ion, you see that he is actually very interested in this, I suppose, somewhat glowing white owl.
Yeah,
with these
I'd do that still.
pale eyes, and he doesn't like move to physically interact, but you can see that his attention is tracked on your owl now.
Yeah, so he's doing it deliberately to just distract him, and he just kind of shouts like, "You can try to pet him if you'd like. He's not going to hurt you. Just."
He furiously just shakes his head no, and kind of tucks his hands like he's sitting with his legs together. He tucks his hands between his legs, almost to like keep them to himself.
Well, that's fine. You're missing out. He's very fluffy. Anyway, what would you like to talk about?
Well, I'm sure you've noticed quite a few different things about me.
A few.
The time we've
Yes.
gotten to know each other.
I've seen
Let's phrase it. So
Stranger.
how? Well, that's a plus, I suppose. How old do you think I am? Let's just start off with that.
Educated guess based on the prompt. 135.
Gosh, no. How old do you think I am? I'm not ancient.
He
Well,
just said
usually when people ask
135.
that, it implies that they're much older than they are. I don't know. How old are you? Why don't you just tell me?
Well, if I were still, I guess, living, I would be 50. But I've been stuck at the age of 20 for 30 years.
I was going to say, whatever you're doing looks great. How?
This is a long shot.
Actually, hang on
But-
1 second. And he like goes into his satchel and like gets out a notebook and a pen.
Oh, that's not necessary. You don't.
It
please,
is.
You don't
It
have to
is.
write that.
Oh,
For my own
yes.
I really, no. I'd rather it not be research. It could be dangerous. I'd rather you not get involved with this. At least not yet.
Fine.
And you just kind of see her like anxiously playing with her hands because now she's kind of nervous about even talking about it because you want to take notes about it. But
Yeah, he's like staring very intently.
oh gosh,
Like it's actually, I
Well-
would say he has an intensity in his stare that is a little bit more than what you're used to seeing.
Something new.
Yeah, he has an extreme vested interest in this topic that it might be a little almost off-putting or startling that he's like that intensely interested in this. Like he's just listening.
She will go
but like it's like laser focused. Like normally, you know how he's very distracted and easily like just all over the place. He's just like locked in, like 100%.
oh gosh. It kind of makes her a little intimidated, but she also kind of appreciates the focus because usually people don't give her the time of day or try to accept her. So she's kind of like trying to gauge everything.
It's about 2 p.m.
She'll she'll remove her veil and let her fangs grow a little bit to showcase what she is.
You said fangs, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I genuinely couldn't tell if you said bangs or fangs, and I'm like, she had no such fangs.
It's
but,
just
like,
all of a sudden, just you.
Wait.
You should prepare for this. Pulls out a bobby pin, just full on Sia in front of your face.
This hair's been growing for 25 years. Yeah, Kairos,
Oh my
he
God.
actually does then sit down. He like takes a seat, despite what he said earlier.
He does take a seat.
Yeah, after that, he sits down. Like
Takes
his
it down.
reaction is not fear or anything. It's kind of just like interesting, and then he just sits down like attentively.
I listen. I know trust has been a huge issue lately in this group, especially with what happened last night before we technically were supposed to go to sleep. But I need you to promise me that you're not going to tell them. I need to figure out how to tell them myself.
Yeah, he just kind of gestures like, yeah, go on.
So, back when I was a kid, Gary, how old do you think I was when I was taken away? Because she was definitely young.
Yeah, I would say probably around the age of 4 or 5.
Around the 4 or 5. Okay, that's fair. So back when I was, about 4 or 5 years old, I was taken away by this group. I don't even remember where I really came from or any of my family, my mother, my father, if I even had a mother or father, maybe 2 moms. I don't even know. I don't even know if I have siblings, but I was taken away by this awful, awful group. And you just kind of see her. She just kind of like stiffens at just even thinking about it and just talking about it because it just gives her so much anxiety because she's never come out about this before to anyone except for obviously Waylon. But she has more of a close bond than you think she does with him, hence why he's with her.
Interesting.
But anyways.
He's staring like expectantly, like, all right, I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm sorry that happened to you, but please continue.
It's in the past. What's happened. I mean, but she's really trying to like not say the name of the group because she doesn't want to like get everyone involved just yet. She's afraid if she says the name that things are going to go like get worse possibly.
Mm-hmm.
This group wanted me for some type of purpose. Like I don't really want to get too much into details, but they transformed me into what I am now when I was about 20 years old. And that would be a Dampier.
I don't know what that is as a player.
You're essentially a half vampire.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I'm basically a vampire, but still
Okay.
still human. But like obviously, I haven't aged. I've been the same age for 30 years. Hence why if I was or if she was still living, she'd be 50 by now.
Mm-hmm. Got it. You said a group. What group is? Well, actually, before would Kairos know what that is?
What the group is?
No. What did you say it was a Dampier? Is that what it's called?
A Dampier? Yes.
Dampier. Okay.
No, that's the creature I am now.
Yeah.
Not the group.
Right. No, that I followed. I'm saying, would Kairos know what that is? I mean, I as a player, like I said, I didn't know what it was, but would Kairos know what that is?
Possibly.
Should I
give me a
nature?
I'll say Arcana check.
What?
Okay.
Can I give him advantage on it if she pulls up the sleeve to reveal the markings on her wrist?
Not specifically for the creature piece, no.
Oh, the creature. Oh, okay. No, I was thinking something different. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
So you got an 11.
Garbage.
I'm gonna say no. Not with the range of research that you have done. You wouldn't have come across it.
Okay. Then yeah, he would be like, "What? I'm sorry. Is that exactly?"
Well, maybe it'll help if I explain why I didn't really get any sleep last night. So, I went out last night because this internal hunger that I've been fighting off and I thought that I've had control for years. This area is in a way I guess reawakening those feelings that hunger that I've suppressed for so long. I
So he his
Sorry,
instinctive
go ahead.
reaction. His instinctive reaction to that. He looks at the kid. He looks back at you, and he covers his mouth, and is like, "Are you sure you don't want to eat him?"
No, he's like me.
Oh,
You just see
he's
her like put her arm defensively around Wayland.
okay. Wait, like you, as in someone who was stolen, or like you, as in like
Yes, both,
you? Oh,
both in a way.
wait, from
Yes,
the same group?
he's also yes by the same group.
And who is this group?
I
It seems
swear
like
if I feel
they're
like if I
going to be a problem.
gotta get
So,
trouble. I don't know. I don't know if there's gonna be a problem. I mean, do you remember that guy that I brought in that one day?
vaguely, the drunk.
Yeah.
Why
He
is it that
was
every
one of the.
time I'm done reading, you bring someone with our group?
That's not
Sorry.
inaccurate. That's not inaccurate at all.
I'm dying. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh gosh.
She's just looking expectantly, like,
That man. If I can find what his name is, I know I have it written down.
Yeah, what's his name? What's his name, Vivian?
I probably know
I'm
his
trying to
name.
find it. It's not that. It's because I think it's the guy that. Helgrim, thank you. I just seen it. Helgrim Hellfire. Yep. So Helgrim, he was one of the men that took me away as a kid.
And you,
But he's better now. He left them because he realized what they were actually doing with us.
okay.
If that makes sense as to why I have various connections now, I guess in different places. But I don't know if they're still active. I'm assuming because, I mean, and she turns to Wayland. Wayland, do you remember anything at all? Do you remember how long ago that they turned you?
His eyes go up to the ceiling. 4 years ago. I'm bad with time.
That's no, it's okay if it truly is 4 years ago. That's still recent. So that they might still be active if they're still taking us kids and turning all of us into whatever they see fit.
So just to be clear, you didn't steal him from this organization. You found him. Yes.
I found him. Yes, I didn't.
Good.
I don't even know if I'd have the courage to even face them right now.
Because I would have been upset if you had done that on your own. No.
No, I'm not that shallow.
Well, some of us are,
But
and the camera pans to Shareed somewhere else.
In the middle of murdering somebody else.
Yeah, just
What?
sneezes 3 times, or whatever that proverb is.
So while you're talking about this, Waylon is just kind of nodding along. Yeah.
So, oh no, sorry, you go ahead.
He says, "I'd like to make a correction, though.
a correction.
I'm not. I'm like you, Miss Vivian. I'm not like you, though, Miss Vivian. I was taken, but I turn into a zombie.
I'm sorry. What?
I go nyam nyam, and I was designed to make other people zombies."
Oh.
And then he gives you like an awkward smile, just.
When does this happen, Waylon?
I thought
the new moon it gets real bad, but whenever I get really, really hungry and I can't hold it off,
Right.
And
And Kairos is
I'm
recalling, like, when's the fucking next new moon?
Well, it was just last night.
it was last
Oh.
night.
Okay.
It was last night.
I see.
Unfortunately, that's
So
why I couldn't hold off my
Well,
hunger.
yeah,
I mean,
it
I did,
clicks.
but
It
I
clicks in his
didn't.
head.
Ish.
He
That's
looks
how
at
I found
you.
him. But Waylon. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go. You good.
Waylon, does that mean that man, that guard, is he gonna turn into a zombie?
He thinks back. I don't know. I can't remember whether I bit him by the time you found me.
I mean, he was torn to shreds,
Well, then I guess it doesn't matter if he turns into a zombie or not, right? I mean,
and there was blood. And there was blood on your face. Oh gosh.
There
I'm
was.
gonna see her put her head in her hands.
and your reaction was to bring him here.
He sits there. He's like, "Oh yeah,
'Cause I
he
wasn't-
might."
I couldn't just leave him out. Well, that's a problem for later us.
Right. Current us.
Or the guard. Maybe the guard will deal with it.
I'm
Current
sorry.
us is no. It's not your fault. They did this to you. They did this to me.
Well, they like half did it to me. And when I escaped, I was only like half through the process. So when I turn into a zombie, I can't always like be me. So I can't.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
We all wear
We
masks,
can't
Waylon.
control it yet. But we'll work
Yeah.
on that. Don't you worry. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
But at this point, she hasn't done this except to Waylon, but she'll take her sleeve and she'll pull it up to show 2 sickles on her wrist. This is what they marked us with.
And for everyone in the chat, I'll grab that.
So in between those moments, I want to also retcon one thing. When you initially would have told him what you were and explained what it was, he would have reacted with his facially, just visually. His visual reaction would have been almost that of disappointment, mild disappointment.
That's not it.
But he wouldn't have said anything. But he would have been like, almost as if he was expecting more in a way. But anyway, back to this moment, he would have said like, so if he fights this urge on the new moon, then he turns to Vivian. Am I right in assuming that's what happened last night with you as well?
I fought my urge. It hasn't happened in Gary, when was the last time that I might have lost control?
It probably would have been before you guys met up.
Okay.
And new moons are monthly in this world?
Yes.
Okay.
I managed to stay sane, and I fought off what I could. I tried to eat here and there what I could when I found at least, and I swear I didn't eat that guard. I didn't touch him. I helped Waylon away from him.
And did anybody see either of you?
That's the sickles.
We got caught by a guard later on, and I had to bribe them to not arrest me or him.
A guard caught you next to a mangled corpse of one of his allies, and you bribed him.
Not next to us. When we were not that far away from here. We already left that area a while back. But
I see. Did he still have blood on him when you were caught?
No, I cleaned him up before we went into a tavern to get food at night.
Good.
Just to, to help my hunger, but also get him some food so he wasn't just eating that man. But I cleaned him up as soon as I could before anyone would have seen us formally, I suppose. But anyways, this market is what we belong to, or what we've fled from. They're Gary. They're called the Guiding Hand, right?
The consummate host now.
Oh. That was me as a player, not Kairos.
Yeah, they're a group known as the consummate host.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least for me, I was, at least from what I was told, I was supposed to accept eternal life for the betterment of everyone else around us. Because what they do is like they bring people to the prophet, and they actually kill people that don't believe. And I'm not even supposed to meet the prophet.
What is it they believe?
Um, what do they believe in specifically, Gary?
So to sum it up, the consummate host is a group that worships one of the three tribunal deities, beings of life, death, and order. I'm sure that sounds familiar to you, sir. Um, one of which being the being of death, the grave prophet, meant to escort the lives of the dead to a peaceful afterlife. The consummate host, as well as most believers in the tribunal, believe that those that follow either the primals or their demigods, the inherited, are not worthy and will often attach morals to these religious beliefs as well. So, at least the consummate host, following the grave prophet, creates beings like Vivian and Wayland to find those that quote unquote need to be saved and need to be brought to the prophet.
And what group did you say they didn't like? What type of, like you said,
The,
like elemental stuff?
yeah, the folks that worship the primals or their demigods.
Okay.
So the trade-off for these people that are transitioned into these so-called hands of the prophet is that they themselves will never meet the prophet due to their undead nature.
Interesting.
So that's the long and short.
I was taking notes.
But yeah, that's exactly what she'll tell you.
Okay. And I
But
assume this is not something Kairos would have ever heard of before.
You would have likely heard of the tribunal in a very general sense, because there are people that will uh, cry on the streets to try and preach their word and things like that. But you, as a academic for life, wouldn't necessarily have paid it much mind.
So he kind of takes a minute and takes it all in, and it's just his first question is, do you have any reason to believe that that group is in this city?
I I don't know because I'm not from the other city. And uh, Waylon,
Wayland?
are you from?
Yeah, he
Uh,
follows on.
he's sitting here looking around, and when you talk to him, he just goes, "Huh, I'm not from here either. I I snuck into town on a merchant cart in a barrel from a little village that got destroyed by wild magic."
But when
Well,
were
that
you
could be a place
taken?
to get later on too.
When
But anyways, yeah. Well,
when
Were you
was
taken
I?
before or after you got here?
Oh no, much. I ended up here after my escape
I see.
because I got out, and he kind of puffs up his chest.
I'm proud of you for getting out. It does take a lot of courage to try to escape from them.
Yeah.
Well,
He'll
we will
then.
do our best.
And I wanted to. Oh, nope. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Waylon is probably
you
gonna
go.
follow.
You go.
Waylon's probably gonna follow Ion into the kitchen-esque area.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I'm gonna kind of keep an eye on if I can kind of lean on this couch just to make sure he doesn't try to eat Ion.
like following a toddler, just
It's like,
Oh,
don't put your mouth on that.
As soon as Ion would be out of his vision, he would
Aw.
do the thing.
Where'd it go?
He would make it reappear behind him. Turn around.
Magic.
But I mean, I've wanted to eventually tell you all because it's been it's been 30 years. I've been run out of towns and villages. People usually don't give me a chance. That's why I'm so protective of myself. Hence why I'm being protective of him, because I know what he's been through.
He
We've been
nods
through so much
understandingly.
torture and trauma. And I don't want, I never wanted to cause issues in the group, but with after, especially now with like, bringing him here, like a young boy, and with issues that we had with Sharid last night before we, went to bed, I needed to tell someone.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but I think it was the right decision to bring him here. Cats are fighting in the background.
Sounds like
it's the Warrens after all, so there's wild cats out in the background. But yeah, he's kind of like, well, I appreciate you telling me. Honestly, not to toot my own horn, I'm probably the best person in our group to tell. Not that I think the others would have a negative reaction, mind you. I just don't know that they'd be any assistance. I at least think we might be able to work on this.
There are others?
There's two others in our group, yes. There's Tio and there's Sharid. I'm sorry, were.
Well, who knows with Sharid? And I haven't actually seen Tio in a while.
Tio's at work.
Oh. Never mind.
The place you should be.
Right, work. Yes.
But it should be. Yeah, Tio's at work. Tio's fine.
Good.
But
Good.
I'm more nervous to tell Sharid because he's been on my case lately.
He has, but he's been through his own circumstances. I actually think he might be more understanding than you think.
Famous last
The
words.
gods can only help. Yeah, it can only help.
And if we make it out of this town, we can try to maybe find a way to undo this curse.
I mean, that's all I've ever wanted, was to be normal and live a normal life after what they did to me.
Would you? No, you're not that old yet. Never mind.
Mm?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No,
it's not important.
No, it matters. You brought it up. Clearly, it's something that's on your mind. Please, I've spoken my mind. What's on your mind?
I was just concerned that if we undid the curse, that you might just turn to dust. But you're not that old yet, so you're fine. You might just have some increased heart problems, but other than that,
be all right. It would. I mean, I'm supposed to be 50, so I mean, I guess if I age, it wouldn't be the worst thing.
Are you sure you want to you sure you don't want to stay this way? I mean, immortality is pretty cool.
I never asked for this. I don't want to live this age forever, because then everyone I know will eventually die, and I'll be the only one left.
He stares at you very seriously. Like he gets very like sullen. Sullen? Is sullen sad or serious? I can't remember. Never mind. Doesn't matter. He gets very stern, and he just stares and says, "Can you turn other people?"
Oh my god.
I don't know. I've never stayed long enough when I was unable to control it previously to find out if people did turn. I don't know if that was my purpose. Like, I know his purpose is to turn others into zombies. I honestly don't know. And if you're asking me to turn you, the answer is no.
That's not what I'm asking. I just asked if you could.
Well, again, I don't know, and I hope that I never turned anyone, because it is not a life worth living.
I see. Well, what have you been doing the last 30 years? What's your goal? What do you want?
To be normal, I mean, if I end up being 50, then so be it. Because who knows what would happen if I revert back to just being human again. But the past 30 years, I've been wandering town to town, village to village, sometimes a city here and there on my own for the most part, just trying to survive, trying to defend myself from if I had any type of encounters with anyone. But usually, if I try to settle somewhere, I'd get run out of town for being a monster. So pretty much just been on the road for 30 years.
On the road again.
Interesting.
But
Well.
this town, though, sorry, we keep talking at the same time.
No. He can continue. He wouldn't have said that. So go ahead.
Okay, but like I was saying with this town, especially with last night, I don't know if it's going to become more frequent, so that's why we can't stay in this city that long. The iron here I feel like it's making it more sensitive. Because, iron, blood.
Oh, right. I see.
And I don't want to lose control of myself. That's my worst fear. I don't want to go off the deep end and never come back.
He, in a completely inappropriate moment, joke, he just pats you on the shoulder and is like, well, if you do, we'll make sure you put Sharid in front of you first. I'll take care of him, and then you'll be satiated and you'll have one less problem, and everybody will be better for it.
But that's so horrible. I don't want to hurt anyone. That's not what I want to do.
We could see if you could eat Ion. I don't think Ion has blood, though. Never mind.
As soon as he gets hurt, doesn't he just poof?
Exactly.
Oh.
See, I don't think that would work.
I don't either. I don't think he has blood.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, did you say all?
What?
Were you gonna?
No.
That?
No.
You weren't?
No.
Be honest with me.
You just hear from his stomach.
Were you trying to eat my bird?
Insight check.
You don't need to insight check kids. You know.
You don't
you
need to
know when
insight
kids
check
lie.
kids.
Come on.
But go ahead and roll anyway. You are the most naive parent ever. You're like, oh, okay.
I am. Yeah, I'm sure you're fine.
Oh no, it's fine.
This child clearly needs to eat. I thought you said you fed him.
I fed him last night. Waylon, do you need
Isn't
food?
that enough? How often do children need to eat?
I don't know. I haven't been a kid for 30. I guess if you count being a kid in your teens, then like 32 years. So don't ask me. I don't even remember my childhood, so I can't tell you if I was hungry when I was a kid or not.
Suddenly, Kairos' stomach also, and so he, come to think of it, I haven't eaten anything in a while either. We should probably find our way to some food.
I mean, we have been up all night, haven't we? Let's go find some food.
What's the plan for Wayland?
I mean, I'd like to help him learn how to control his powers, like I had to learn the hard way how to control mine. And if anything, make him find out how to reverse what he's been plagued with before me. Because he's just a child. He's way too young. You know what I mean? I've dealt with this for so long now. If that day ever comes, then so be it. But I'd rather help him find his answers before I find my own.
He before they go to, were they gonna? Okay, let me back up. Is there any food in this building, or do we have to go somewhere else to get it?
I mean, most of it's scraps. You see Lars walking around every so often with like a piece of jerky in his mouth, but you're pretty sure it's just dried rat.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so then I guess he would kneel. Kairos surprisingly would kneel down next to Wayland and just say, "Listen, if we were to get separated, or you were to get separated from Vivian for any reason, and we end up leaving this town, I want you to seek out Uhuru and go to the Dean of the Solar and ask for Philaster. Tell him Kairos sent you. And explain to him what you are, and he might be able to assist you. If we get out here together, we can try to take you to him together. But
That
just
would
in
be
the off
preferable.
chance, that's where you should head, and that is our intent to go there.
He nods his head and like makes a gesture as if he's writing on his hand. Okay. Go to Uhuwu. See Fly Faster. D. Zoller. Okay.
Close enough.
I can write you a note later if you'd like, Waylon.
Yes, because I just remembered I don't know how to read.
Oh, then that's not gonna. Maybe we should make a map just in case, Kairos. At least general directions. Figure out how to teach the cardinal directions as well.
Do I look like a
You know better.
cartographer?
Why don't we take you? We'll just take him, and we'll just maybe make that our next destination, perhaps.
I suppose. Kind of a.
But wait, you said a Huru, right?
Uhuwu, yeah.
Okay, so that's where we met up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to get my facts straight. Okay, yep. Okay, cool.
That is where we done came from.
Okay.
But
Yeah, no, 'cause after whenever
the specific
we
place in person I said was that would be something new to Vivian. Vivian.
Yeah, because I would say that doesn't sound familiar. Like the town obviously is familiar, but the name.
Yeah.
Can I make a check to maybe have an idea?
Since your previous entry into the city was probably your first, you're not gonna know.
No, okay, that's fine. But maybe after we're here or we're done here and be gone, maybe we all head back to Huru together. That would at least get him his answers and see if they can help him. And if they can help me too, then that'd be nice. But I'm not too worried about myself. You know, I mean, I can hear myself.
Jesus,
Yeah, I heard it echo all of a sudden.
God, no.
Oh,
No.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
You
it's
heard
fine.
nothing.
what was I saying? I'm so confused now.
They
I
can
just
help.
thought maybe it
They
was a
can
train
help
of
you
thought.
too. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah, but and if not, then I mean, I've dealt with this for 30 years. I don't see an end anytime soon.
If I'm being honest, I would love to study both conditions and in an effort to assist, of course. But we can only do so in an environment that is more suitable for
Safe,
that kind of endeavor.
yes. And study how so, like, witness us when we're like that, or
Ideally, no, but if it comes to that, I'm sure there's methods of doing so safely.
I'm just worried if I were to turn, or I say turn, but if that were to happen, that I would lose control. That's my only worry. And I don't want to put any harm on any of you guys.
He raises his hand and he's like, I'm confident that if we can get you to Philaster, you won't be able to hurt anyone.
I hope so.
I don't know if he can cure you, but what I'm saying is if you were to turn under his care, I don't think there would be any cause for concern.
And as you guys are having like this kind of rounding out of your conversation, you hear from behind you steps coming down the stairs. As you just hear Lard. Oh, y'all are still here. You turn around and realize he's just in his skivvies. I expected you all to be gone.
Insight check.
Sure. You want to roll me another nat one?
No. Damn it. 10.
I mean, a 10 is, you think he does this shit a lot.
by like just. Cause like I mean, my intent was to see like if he was listening at all to our conversation.
Oh, you're not
and
sure.
to see if like but. Okay, that's fine.
Well, we were just discussing where to go, actually. Speaking of,
Yes, exactly.
any ideas?
I mean,
Where, I mean, I don't want to go to that tavern again that I went to last night, but I also right now might not be the best case for me to show back up at the Hearth and Home.
I mean, what are you guys looking for?
Preferably, at least for me and Waylon, food. But what about you, Kairos?
Oh, right, food. I almost forgot again. Before we left, I wanted to ask Lars something.
That's a me. What's up?
In private or?
No, it's perfectly fine. He holds out the books. Where did you say you found these again?
Where did you find these?
Those were the books in the burnt.
Wait a minute, what?
These were the books I asked your permission to take last night.
Yeah, but they didn't look like this.
Sure they did.
Give me a deception check. Yeah, that's about what I thought.
Why?
He says, no,
Oh
these are, no. I mean, these are the same books. This is not how they were.
He puts his hands in between his eyes and he's like, fine, I lied. Yes, I fixed them.
All right. Cool.
I'm just curious where you found them.
Can I just say... Sorry. I'm going to just say us spellcasters have the worst luck when it comes to rolling dice.
Anything social?
I've never rolled so many nat ones in my life.
The worst. He like rifles through to get a general gist of what the book was about. He says, I mean, this one, he picks up the actual journal book. He says, this one I got from a certain somebody's office. The other two, every so often, the Sovereign's always been against magic, points to you, and the like. So oftentimes books pertaining to magical creatures would actually be sequestered in the Sovereign stronghold in the mantle. Now, when we were all forced out, I happened to grab a few because maybe they'd make some money. And then everything burned down, and here we are.
And why did everything burn down?
Your guess is as good as mine. And my guess is the schmuck who owned this journal is now the Sovereign's advisor. He came into town, I don't know, he was here 3 months. Everything got all weird. Just like I told you before, all the members of the guard essentially got pushed out for new recruits. And the next thing we know, we're all being flushed down to the Warrens, and everything's on fire.
This person's name.
Urgel Voidbrand. Little devilkin, black horns. Thinks himself a tinkerer. He's the one that made all them walking suits of armor that are going about the city.
Oh yeah, I saw those last night.
I'm sure you did. He's making sure that everyone sees them. Puts good people like me out of business. Well, you know, when I was on the right side of the law.
Where would you say he is now? On the mantle, but where specifically?
I mean, his office is actually up in the Arbiter's Eye, the stronghold for the Sovereign himself. But every so often, when he comes up with a big breakthrough, he'll take that breakthrough to the mall to test. And he'll have competitors fight whatever the hell he created.
Sounds like a wonderful person.
He's a dick.
Should we be concerned for
So that
Shireen's
means
safety?
I was just about to ask you the same exact thing, Kairos.
I mean, I couldn't tell you. It's been a while since he's tested something, so either that means he's got Dick Diddley, or he's close to bringing something else in. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't have quite the same number of sources that I used to.
And
Now,
now
for
is
the mall, do they fight to the death, or is it more so just fight until they're unconscious?
It's a gentleman's agreement that they fight till the other can't fight anymore. Now, does that always happen? No.
and is it
What does that usually
consecutive?
happen with that man's creations specifically?
I mean, when he tested out those things that are walking the streets now, it was one of them against 3 competitors. 2 of them walked out. The third had his face bashed in with its shield.
Maybe we should be concerned for Sharid.
Nah, he's a big boy. I'm sure he's fine.
Is there usually one round at a time? Should we expect Sharid back here, or is he staying there until he wins or loses?
It's usually depending on how many competitors they have in the city at any given time. I think right now they're doing 1 match a day per, but that could change at any point. That's up to their registration bureau to make those schedules. But since the mall is located in the Warrens, a lot of competitors will go to the Rat's Den, a local tavern, to get a drink afterwards.
I know where that's at, unfortunately.
Why you say unfortunately?
It's not my kind of place, if you know what I mean.
I mean, it's no one's kind of place. I mean, the stuff they serve might as well have come out of a toilet, but it's food.
Yeah, it's not good. It is food, but it's not good. I mean, I ate it. I can testify for that much, at least.
Yeah.
Well then,
Anything
if
else you want to
would-
know? He's just there rubbing his exposed belly.
do you have any more books
I mean,
like this?
not like this, probably.
Well, you're welcome
Is
to keep
there a
them in their
library?
restored state if you'd like. I already got everything I needed from them.
Nah, you hold on to him.
Very
You might
well.
find more use for him than me.
Appreciate it.
Or is there a library in Mugan?
Not a public one.
It's like asking if there's a suit store here.
I think the Mantle has one, but I think it's cordoned off for members or residents of the Mantle.
People need to know how to read in order to have a library. Right, Wayland?
What?
We'll teach you how to read, sweetheart.
Yay! I like Az's X's.
Az's and X's. Any of your books, Kairos, that have a lot of Az's and X's in them?
Actually, yes. The Xanathar's Guide to Everything has many.
Jeez.
Xanathar's
I love
Guide,
that.
my
I love that
gosh.
book.
It's a great book, honestly. One of the
Yeah.
best ones out there.
Agreed.
All right. So what would y'all like to do?
I suppose go get food. If there's any other place aside from the Rat's Den to go to around this time of day, and that's also not the Hearth and Home, just because he does not want me around for the rest of the day.
You could probably find 1 or 2 other even smaller taverns. The problem is just maintaining a food supply in the Warrens is difficult for most.
Gotcha. Well, I suppose we can try our luck. I mean, I can go without food for a while. I feel like I don't have to eat 3 meals a day. But he, on the other hand, Waylon needs something.
I'm a growing boy.
Well,
He
we
is a
can
grown boy.
We can certainly try and get some
Well,
food somewhere inconspicuously. I haven't eaten since yesterday afternoon, come to think of it.
I mean, we did eat last night before we came back here, but
Oh, we did.
with him being a, you know, you know what,
That was also hours ago
his
now.
hunger
So
it was out there. I'm afraid his hunger is worse off than mine, considering what he is compared to what I am.
Very well. Um, is there any, Lars, is there any inconspicuous tavern nearby that we could take him that not arouse suspicion?
what's suspicious about you three? A bookworm, a really tall lady, and a kid with hair brighter than anybody's bushfire.
Exactly.
Huh. All right. How about this? Let me throw on some pants and you can come with me.
But can't you not be seen? I thought you were staying hidden.
Uh-huh. You're not the only one with a face mask, lady.
We do all wear
I
masks.
suppose.
Jesus Christ.
And when he specifically mentions that, she's gonna go back upstairs to her room. Waylon, I'll be right back. I promise. She's gonna run upstairs and fix her makeup because it's probably not the greatest after a night on the town, trying not to be a vampire.
So after a few minutes, Lars comes out, fully dressed, albeit somewhat disheveled. His normal raggedy ass look. This man. As he leads you out into the city and takes you a couple blocks almost in the direction of the cable car house. But you notice he's staying a few blocks away to avoid the specific crowds. And he takes you down a very narrow street that kind of loops around almost to the outer wall. And right up, butted against the wall, is a small ramshackle house, hole in the roof. But you can see coming up from that roof is some smoke and steam as if somebody's cooking. And as you approach, you start to get a whiff of just seared meats, some potatoes, maybe a stew as you approach.
Gosh, that smells lovely, doesn't it, everyone?
Yeah, the tummy grumbles are kicking in.
You see that Waylon's got a little bit of like drool coming from the side of his mouth.
I haven't eaten meat in 3 years now, and that still smells amazing.
3 years.
I remember. I remember the
He nods.
smell.
It was a whole thing we were trying. Never mind.
I mean, more power to you.
We thought it would increase our connection to the world, but it doesn't matter. To the spell gems.
It made us hate it worse.
Yeah. Don't ever try to eat the spell gem, by the way. Don't recommend
Jesus
it.
Christ.
So, wait.
Just don't.
I'm sorry. Wait, did you just say you tried to eat a spell gem?
No, I said I did. I told you not to.
You did.
Correct.
Why? I'm sorry. Why would you?
That we don't have time for, unfortunately. We would need to sit down again
another
for that,
time
right?
that
Yes.
sit down. Okay, that's fine. We can sit down whenever you need to. That is a huge discussion, apparently.
So Lars leads you inside this building. The door opens with a very audible creak. And you hear coming from the direction of the smoke and steam and the good smell of food comes a young woman's voice. Oh, I have customers. As you turn around and you see a woman, fair skin, pointed ears, almost a pinkish hue to her skin, but long brown hair. Did the lady. Blammo. Dad the lady.
Oh, she.
Is she pretty? There's everybody else's look. And she looks around and she says, Lars, get rid of that mask. You're not fooling anybody in this neighborhood. We've all seen you prowling around. And he just pulls it down. Yeah, Zelda. Thank you. I got some friends here. Would you mind helping us get some grub? And she says, certainly, as she stirs a big pot of what seems like stew.
Is there meat in that?
Some, yes. Mostly what I can catch, and what I can catch is usually rats, but you wouldn't be able to tell.
I can eat around it.
One of them anti-meat types, huh?
It's kind of nods. He's looking around the building, like if there's anybody else there. If it's like he's sizing up the place.
It seems pretty barren. There doesn't seem to be too many tables to begin with. You see that Waylon has already taken up a seat at the table closest to where she's cooking. He somehow found a knife and a fork, and he's just, yes.
Yeah, he'd go sit next to him.
Waylon, for some reason, Waylon turns to you and just, you smell funny, Mr. Kairos.
He looks him up and down. I haven't showered. But is that not what you mean?
No.
I suppose you haven't showered either.
You smell like trees. Like dead trees.
He's just like staring at him like,
now I'm curious.
You don't smell very good yourself. As he stands up and goes to the other side of Lars and sits back down. And then he makes Ion appear. No, he doesn't actually. He does not make Ion appear. Sorry.
Are you sure?
He thinks about doing that. He thinks about doing that and then doesn't. He like starts to do the hand motion and then stops himself. And then like turns it into like I was just stretching my wrist.
This actually kind of makes Vivian curious. I think this is the first time like she's ever had someone associate scent with something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about me, Wayland? If that's not too much to ask.
You smell like... You smell like... what's the word?
Shit.
Dirt.
Now, don't
like...
teach him words like that.
You smell like dirt and fog.
I mean, you're not too far off with that one, kid.
Ugh.
Now, as for me,
Mr. Lars smells bad.
Oh boy. Maybe that's enough of sniffing for now, Waylon.
Lars looks at him. Hey, look. When you've gone as long as I have without a shower, you think we got running water here? Nah, man.
Can Kairos do an insight check on that? To try and interpret. Does he mean bad like he hasn't bathed, or bad as in like bad?
Oh. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, I don't like that laugh. Now, out of curiosity, for me, I don't have a sense of smell like that because he's a zombie compared to me being a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 19.
Okay. So you got a 19. You're pretty sure he means bad as in that sucker stink.
Okay. All right. You got real concerned for a second there.
Yeah, why would he be bad, Kairos?
Don't know.
He's treating you to lunch.
Exactly.
But shortly after, this beautiful woman brings 4 bowls to the table, all with steaming hot soup in them. And she just kind of gives a half bow at the end of the table and says, "If you need anything else, just please let me know."
Thank
Before
you, much
you.
appreciated.
before almost floating off back to her pot.
Well, thank you, Lars, for taking us here.
Mm-hmm. It's good grub. It's not cheap grub, but it's good grub.
And she carefully nudges Wayland. Wayland, what do you say?
Thanks for the grub.
Good boy. And she pats him on the head.
And then he dips a finger in it to see how hot it is, and then just dives. It literally plants his face in the stew. And
Where
you just
did
hear
you get a
Wayland, and she will try to pull him back up a little bit, but that's not how you eat at the table, sweetheart.
It's not?
No, do you want to try using this? And she hands him a spoon.
Kairos is sitting at the other end of the table, like pinky up with the spoon, like.
But my way is.
See what helped
Kairos? But Mr. Oh, what was his name? Mr. Helgrim said my way is efficient.
Wait, you Helgrim talked to you?
Yeah. He was there for a little bit while I was there. And then I don't know, maybe I'm bad with time. I think
Was he the one that took you?
Yeah.
So it was only really recent that he left. That makes sense.
I mean, it was like 6 years ago. 4 years
So you've been
ago.
like this for 4 years. Oh, okay, so 4 and 4. So they changed him almost immediately, whereas for me, they kept me around for years before they changed me.
Yeah.
Noted. Well, maybe it's efficient, but it's gonna attract attention, and attention's not what you want, Waylon. You want to be able to try to blend in.
He picks up a spoon and very audibly scrapes the bottom of the bowl before bringing up some to his face. And he just grumpily eats as you requested.
And that way maybe you won't get a tummy ache too. Because, sometimes if you eat too fast, it might upset your stomach. And it might help hold off that hunger a little bit longer if you try to eat more slowly.
I guess. Okay.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
When Kairos
and how much did he manage to scarf down? Oh, I'm so sorry.
It was at least half his bowl.
She'll pour half of her bowl into his bowl because she doesn't need to eat all of it.
He starts scooping faster.
No, remember what I said. Slowly eat. Slowly. No, don't hold the spoon like that. What? Just hold it in your hand. So you don't hold it with your mouth like that.
He ultimately acquiesces.
Thank you.
And I was going to say something.
Kairos, what were you saying?
I was going to say something similar. When Kairos is done eating the potatoes out of the bowl, he would slide the bowl down the table with just the meat left to Waylon.
Potatoes. And he'll gladly accept. He actually looks at you and gives you a smile for the first time since you met him today. Thanks, Mr. Kairos.
He doesn't change his expression at all and just kind of nods.
Just the dead look.
Yeah.
Good day.
Then he turns his head back, but the camera can see a slight smile on the side not facing him.
Just a slight glint.
As it should be.
So while you're there, is there anything that? So Lars is just sitting here, just eating quietly, while you all are faffing about.
Faffin.
I mean,
So
not in particular.
What's next? Where do we go
Well-
from here? I feel as though we shouldn't
I mean-
return to our once employer.
No, he definitely doesn't want us there, period, for the rest of the day. I can testify for that.
I
Don't know
meant-
how you're going to end up tomorrow, though, but
I more meant in
I
general.
mean, you're more than. Oh, in general. Well,
If you had that reaction from half a day and a single day, then I'm not sure that's a place we should be.
Probably not. I mean, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to kind of look around, see what else is here, but obviously not get caught by the guards, because I probably shouldn't be seen by the guards anytime soon.
Why?
Remember what I said about I had to bribe one last night when I came back?
Yes, but if you did it successfully, that's no cause for concern, right?
It shouldn't be, but I don't know how people act here in Bugan. They're greedy. And I don't know how else they would react to, calling him a criminal last night, saying that I'm harboring a criminal, all because he didn't have papers. Sounds rude to them.
Papers, please.
But who knows? They could just turn. Yeah, papers, please. Who knows? They could change their mind on a dime. You never know.
It may be in our best interest to leave Wayland at the house with Lars while we are out
I
during
wouldn't
the
feel
day.
comfortable leaving. I mean, you're not wrong, but I wouldn't feel comfortable just leaving him alone.
Who, Lars or Wayland?
Waylon. And he needs to learn how to control. And I know what he's going through. So if anything were to happen with him, wouldn't I be the best one to be able to help him handle it right then and there? If something were to happen while I was away,
I thought this was only a problem
wouldn't be able
during the new moon.
it's not just during the new moon. It could happen at any time, but the new moon is when it's strongest.
I see.
And we're just exiting a new moon, so it could be slightly lingering effects. I don't. And well, I mean, at least with here, Bugan has. It's more, at least for me, it's more sensitive because of the iron in the air from the mines.
Well, that's just the problem. If the mines are our only other option other than going back, we can't exactly take a child to the mines with us. Especially one without
We definitely
papers.
cannot. She pulls out from her little satchel and it slips him the forged papers for Wayland, so he could analyze them. That's been taken care
He
of.
starts staring at
By
the
some
papers, not being able to read.
All right.
I handed them to Kairos,
Ah. Okay.
but
Yeah, he looks them over, but it still doesn't explain why a child would be working in the mines, though.
I mean, who knows how Bugan operates? They could have. I'm sure they would throw him down in the mines if they could, because he's walking, talking, possibly capable.
You bet they would.
I don't even. So unfortunately, I'm not wrong.
Nah. There's a good number of kids. Not all kids, but there's a good number of kids.
Kairos's mind flashed forward to like the future of the three of them in a tunnel with other people when the kid starts trying to eat people's brains. Just zombies in the tunnel.
Zombie tunnel.
We'll walk out of that tunnel with a whole horde of zombies.
Maybe.
My gosh. Let's
Maybe that's
not
the
say
plan.
we did.
That's how we take over the town.
Zombie invasion.
We make a zombie army.
Hey.
We're not going to make a zombie army. I'm not going to put him through something that traumatic.
So then,
He's already been through too much.
should we go back to the mall? should we try and find?
I
Well,
mean-
I guess we probably shouldn't go find Tio because we'll just get run out of that building.
Well, I mean, we could go investigate.
I would say we could try
See
to
if we
go
can
up to the
find-
mantle, but I don't think we'd be allowed.
No, because that seems very close quartered, and only, residents of that area are allowed in and out.
Lars, are there any jobs here? The freelance mercenary jobs, anything of that nature that we wouldn't have to go to the mines, but still be within the realm of the standard operating procedures here?
Well, technically, yes. Usually those are saved for those that make their way up to the lower stratum. After that point, you can go to the commander's glory. Maybe the guards will give you a job to do. Some people live off those odd jobs. Just not available to folks down here.
I mean, technically, we do have clearance to be working up in the lower stratum, right?
We do,
I mean,
because that's where our job's at.
We could try our hand at the commander's glory and see.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt.
Or we could go to the mines.
To the mine. To the mine.
I leave it to you.
I'd rather not go to the mines because I don't know how that would affect both of us, especially me, knowing that I'm the one that's affected by iron the most.
I mean, I like minerals, but I don't see how it would affect me. He says, like, deadpan, but, like, he means it as a joke. Because he knows
She
that you're
kind
talking
of
about
raised
the
her eyebrow. Be like, oh, really? I didn't notice. But
Very well. We can either check in on Sharid, although I feel he doesn't want to be checked in on, or we can see if we get ourselves kicked out of another place.
I mean, maybe we'll just go to what was he said, the Commander's Glory?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could try there, see what's up about that place.
All right. So ultimately, you all finish your meal. Lars just yells to Yazelda, "Just put it on my tab." As you all make your way out. And so, Lars kind of turns to you all and says, "If you wanted to get up to the Commander's Glory, you gotta take the cable car, go way to the east side of the lower stratum. I can't go with you because, haha, stabby, stabby, dead, dead. So I'm gonna go home."
That's fair.
Well,
We appreciate
the
your
meal.
help. Again, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the meal.
Yeah, if you find anything fun, certainly let me know.
Will do. Is there anything you would like us to
If you,
get for you while we're out?
sir.
It's just nice when I know you're thinking of me.
Right.
That's so sweet.
Toodles. As he just heads off back home.
All right, we'll see you later, Lars. Well, I suppose better late than never. Shall we head off then?
To me.
Yeah.
I was taking notes
So-
again.
You essentially wander your way through Bugan to the cable car station in the Lower West Side. This is the same cable car station that you first entered the Warrens with and that some of you have used since. At this point, it's early afternoon. Folks seem to be coming down from the cable cars as opposed to up to the higher strata. So there's still a little bit of a line, but not like the morning rush. As you stand in line, you see a number of people hopping off the cable car, raggedy work clothes, overalls, dusty, some holes in them, some look like they have scorch marks on them, and all these people seem to just have like that dried salt from just a day of sweat on their brow. And eventually, you're waved up to um, the booth that's there as the attendant asks for your papers.
You turn them over.
And she looks them through, looks at yours, Kairos, looks at yours, Vivian, and looks at Waylon's, folds them up, and hands them back to you, and gestures for you to board the cable car to her left.
Thank you. And then Vivian will collect at least hers and Waylon's, and then usher him to the cable car.
Cable guy.
Yeah, the cable car, you know.
All right. So you ride the cable car as you have before. It slowly makes its way along the line. You can see down below you the desolate streets of the Warrens. You see people on them, but it doesn't really seem like life of a city, right? It's sporadic. The people that move are moving very slowly, very sluggish. And after about 15 minutes or so, the cable car screeches to a halt as you reach the station at the lower stratum. As you're all escorted off, you're met with the same vision that you did before, that kind of wide platform. You see rows and rows of houses. To the north, the Hearth and Home, and to the southeast-ish area is the front gate of the city that you initially entered through.
Well, I believe we need to keep going this way. And he points straight ahead.
Okay.
All right. Why don't you lead the way then? And then she'll kind of still tuck Wayland to her side, kind of holding him close, not wanting him to potentially wander off, but also try to protect him in a way from others. Like kind of like in a way like a protective sibling or like a protective parent would normally do for the younger ones.
Mm-hmm. And as you look up, you obviously see the cable car lines that come from the layer above you. And every so often, very sporadically, very long periods in between, where you see a cable car move along one of those lines. Most of them seem to take their direct line straight to the mall. But every so often, you might see one come down to the lower stratum. You can even tell from where you're sitting that the quality of these cable cars, they're much more well kept than those coming to and from the lower stratum from the Warrens. Ultimately, you pass through a few blocks, and you come to a point that you are at the base of the cliff. Above you is the area known as the Mantle, but inset in this cliff are a bunch of shafts and caveways. Shaft.
Oh God.
With pretty consistent billowings of steam and smoke, and every so often you can hear just the distant boom of an explosion from one of those pathways. Vivian, you start to smell that stench of iron, but it's mixed in with just dust. You see a ton of people moving in and out of these pathways. You think that these are the entrance to the arteries.
Does it upset or affect my hunger at all?
Not currently.
Or is that over currently?
Yeah.
She'll attach her veil just in case, just to be sure to maybe try to mask some of that irony smell from entering her nostrils.
Ah, yes, the smell of
How's
irony.
how's Waylon faring? Does iron seem to affect him more, or
He's more
not
just
as
kind of
much because he's
he's more just kind of like attached to you, just kind of looking around. It doesn't seem like he even acknowledges the smell.
okay? So iron doesn't affect him. Noted. But
So,
she will, in a way, knowing that the iron is a little bit stronger here, she'll kind of. She doesn't want to seem like nervous, but she'll kind of give Waylon a little squeeze just to distract herself in a way.
Mhm.
And she'll continue to follow Kairos wherever he leads us.
Okay.
Yeah, he's kind of taking like a random, like he's going almost in a straight line to it, but like taking turns around different buildings and stuff that seems like, why would you turn around that building instead of just going straight? And he's kind of just looking around, and what he's doing is he's trying to keep an eye out for anybody that matches the description of any of the groups we've so far learned about. And just trying to keep an eye open and gather as much info as possible about the surrounding area.
Okay.
And while we're doing that, she's going to kind of just turn towards you and whisper quietly, as long as we can try to get away from the arteries, that would be preferable. It's a little worse over here. It's hard to concentrate, if you know what I mean.
I understand. Let's try and leave this area then.
So
Thank
as you
you.
all are moving about the city, both of you just give me perception checks.
Can do.
More ones. More
Please, guys, don't
Hey.
fail me now.
All right.
13.
So as you all are weaving about, Vivian, with your 13, you slightly pick up the conversation of a group of people that you passed by. It seemed to be the mention of a guard who died on duty the previous night. You do hear mention that you do hear mention that they don't know who did it or what did it.
And then she'll release that breath she was holding as soon as they say that. So they're not under suspicion. That is excellent. You can just kind of like also see on her face, like kind of like that wave of like emotion. It's just kind of like an oh shit, fuck, we're gonna get caught right here and now. And then it's just like, okay, we're actually fine. There's nothing wrong. It's all okay. And you just like see that change like very obviously.
You do hear that it seems to be the common conception that it was some kind of animal or beast that made its way into town somehow that caused the killing, based on the condition of the body.
Do they mention the fact there's no blood for the most part on the body, or they just kind of leave that?
They leave it at
unannounced.
Either they don't know about it or it's not mentioned.
Okay. Because I made sure to clean that shit up as best as I could.
Ah, yes, because, DNA sequencing, that's the thing we need to worry about here, folks.
Oh, yes, definitely.
CSI Bugan.
Hell yeah.
Kairos, with your perception check, as you're weaving through these alleyways and these side streets, you pass by a group of two older men. And just for a split second, you catch a bit of their conversation as they mention as they seem to mention a mystic that has taken up residence in the Rat's Den in the Warrens.
Interesting.
Something about granting a wish or becoming young again. But unless you stop, you just pass right by and that's all you pick up.
He would slow his gait to get as much as he could. Maybe like accidentally drop something and like, look around for it and fumble just to hear as much as possible, but then proceed.
Yeah, you catch maybe that apparently this mystic will challenge you to some sort of game, and if you win, you get a wish.
Interesting.
But that's it.
Curious. Yeah, he'll keep that to himself for right now. Actually, no, he wouldn't. I'm sorry, I was thinking in character for a second. No, I don't know why he wouldn't want to keep that to himself. He would probably say, "Did you hear that?"
Did I pick up that conversation at all?
You did not.
I'm sorry. Hear what?
Those men over there. And he kind of gestures behind them as they're far away. I heard them say something about a mystic in the rat's den. That they guess if you beat her at a game, you can get a wish.
A mystic? Would I have an idea what a mystic is with my years of travel?
I mean, your assumption is that some magic person or someone who typically will like see fortunes or something to that effect.
Okay. Did I see any girls last night in the rat's den?
You didn't.
Well, I was there last night, but I didn't see anyone that at least sounds like that person you're referencing.
Did
At
they
least it didn't sound
use
like any of the people.
did they use female gender pronouns?
No, they didn't.
Okay. Intriguing.
There was this one person. They had long blonde hair, blue eyes. That's what I'm remembering correctly.
Brown hair, brown eyes.
That was
the guard you ran into. Was blonde hair, blue eyes.
Oh yeah, the guard was blonde. That's why I'm thinking blonde in my head.
Yeah.
There was this one person that had brown hair, blue eyes that seemed very well kept. I don't want to use the word mesmerized, but I feel like they had that appeal to themselves. But I know there was also gambling going on, and I know one guy got upset and stormed off after he lost. Perhaps, maybe that could be the person, but I can't say for sure.
It's just strange to me. City that doesn't like magic. Talking about a mystic who
Seems
can
like
grant
there's
wishes.
And also, that magic is secretly used at the mall as well. It seems like it's okay in some circumstances, but for the general public, it's against the law or frowned upon.
Yeah, he just nods. Hopefully we can find our way into one of those special circumstances.
I mean, we could try to go to the rat's den tonight, or even go later and see if maybe we can run to that same person I saw last night. I can't guarantee they'll be there again, but
that sounds like a plan.
They seem like they might be frequent.
Yeah, he just nods. I think first we should continue on to the Commander's Glory, but I like that idea for once we return.
Sounds perfectly good to me. And they'll continue to make their way then.
Okay.
And wait, as they're going, he's like a little bit later, he's like, maybe after like another 10 minutes of walking, he's like, what would you wish for if you could wish for anything?
I mean, there's a lot of wishes. If I could wish for more than one thing, one would be for to, I mean, not to sound selfish, but to, obviously be human again. Another one maybe to be with my family again, to have a second chance with them since I was taken so young, if
Kairos,
they are still alive.
Kairos
And
gives like a
another
wink.
one. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I interrupted you.
It's okay. But the third one, that'd be like less selfish, would be for the consummate host to no longer be a thing that, for the all the children that have been taken to be returned to their families if they're still alive, and for everyone there to be redeemed.
After you would say the first one, Kairos would let out an audible scoff, he thought it would be funny, or not that he thought it would be funny, that he found it funny. But that's all he says. Just kind of like a after you say that you want to get rid of the the affliction. Like something strikes him in his mind that makes him laugh.
What's so funny over there?
I mean, he's not like having a freaking height, or like it's hysterics.
Oh yeah, he's not laughing, but just his reaction, I caught her off guard.
Yeah, it's just we have very different goals. You wish to get rid of your affliction, and it doesn't matter.
I wish to absorb it.
Is becoming immortal one of your goals? But she'll say it very quietly so no one else can hear them.
You could say that. But not for self-serving gain.
Sure.
We'll have to talk about this maybe when we get back to Lars's.
Let's just say
that's all right with you.
I suppose, but for now, let's just say I need more time.
Of course. I mean, I can talk more about my experiences, I suppose, but like I've said before, it's not really, at least for me, it's not what I wanted. Because, at least for me, people treated me differently. And I also look different than what I used to be.
I mean, I don't want to become you. It doesn't matter.
Well, no, of course not. No one wants to be me. Trust me. I don't want to be me. And she'll kind of laugh at that.
I don't want to be me.
Excellent.
You're welcome. As you all are having this conversation, you come upon a very well-kept building made of a combination of stone and iron supports. Atop it flies several red banners bearing a crest of a shield and warhammer. Standing at the front, at the bottom of a set of stone steps, is a pair of guards, standing at full attention, watching as you approach.
And this is the place we want to go, yeah?
You think so?
Yes. Sorry, excuse me, is this the commander's glory?
One just nods to you. Face mostly obscured by helmet.
Would we be allowed permission to enter?
What is your purpose?
Kairos, what's our purpose?
Wait, did you say these were guards or golems?
Guards.
Okay, I was very confused for a moment.
What is your purpose?
What is your purpose? We're looking to help where it's needed.
What does that mean?
Just looking for anybody that might need assistance in this city, and see if we can offer our services with things that other people can't do.
Uh-huh. So you're looking for work.
Correct.
Papers.
Yeah, they hand them.
Yep, she'll hand over hers and Waylon's.
They look them over. One guard first goes through them, hands them to the other, who goes through them. And then you see them kind of lean in towards one another. And you can hear some faint whispering amongst them.
Shit, Scoob, we gotta get out of here.
And then one of them says, all right, if you're looking for work, you have to talk to the commander. I'll go fetch him for you.
Thank you.
And then he
Thank
takes
you
your papers
so much.
and starts climbing the stone steps.
Wait, he doesn't give them back?
No.
Bastard.
Fuck. That ain't good. She'll kind of look at Kairos nervously and be like, "What? Why didn't he give them back?"
He just kind of shrugs, and you can see his hand like motion, like at his hip. He's just kind of like pointing, or like with his palm downward, like it's fine. Let's just wait.
You're giving me some college flashbacks interacting with. Shit.
It's fine.
He knows.
It's fine. Be cool. Actually, you know what he does do?
Mm-hmm.
He points at Vivian and just kind of whispers, and he just says, let's just see what they say. Maybe it'll be fine. But only Vivian can hear it.
Oh.
Like he has his hands behind his back and just kind of points a single finger. That's how he does it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Little message.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But he does it again, and it's like the first sign of trouble, we get out of here as soon as we can.
We scram diddly.
Of course.
No,
No, can I reply silently back to him, or
I think message is
do I have
one
to
way.
talk out?
Sending is 2 ways. If I recall.
It's 2 ways. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Message is 1 way.
Yeah.
Sending is 2 ways.
Yeah, it's just.
Okay.
Oh no, and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean,
So yeah, you can.
yeah, we'll hightail it out of here as soon as we possibly can, if need be. I just don't like the feeling of this. Like usually they give us our papers back. Don't get into that. Delilah, move over here. Like the people with the cable cars, they give us our papers. When we go for our jobs, they usually at least when we get them to them, give them back to us. I don't just something doesn't sit right with me here.
He just kind of nods his head very slightly. It's still like standing at attention, waiting.
I'm just gonna make an aside here. I look at my phone for 1 fucking second. I have 128 text messages. Why? Why do I have 128 text messages? What the fuck has happened in my absence of 2 hours?
Perhaps you should attend to that.
No, I bet you it's all garbage.
That is many.
I'm part of many group chats, and I'm sure they're all just dicking about.
Okay.
I'm sure
it's me Monday.
It is me Monday. Anyway, after a few minutes, this other guard at the base of the stairs has been standing there just keeping an eye on you this entire time as the guard that left exits the building and starts walking down the stairs, and behind him is a rather tall human male, black hair that flows backwards, in sterling black armor.
Ooh, fancy pants.
And when they reach the bottom of the stairs, the guard takes his original position, and this other human stands a few steps higher, hands behind his back. Well, no, he's actually holding your papers. The guard stands with his hands behind his back at full attention. And this man in the black armor looks at you all and says, I hear you're looking for work. I am the commander here.
Yes, sir.
What kind of work are you looking for?
Any sort of work where people need us. Well, actually, no, yeah, go with Kairos said.
I see. And what skills do you have to provide the people?
I mean, I personally rescued a woman and her child from a burned building, so I could, do search and rescue. That seems to be more my specialty.
Mm-hmm.
Kairos?
I'm good at planning things, solving difficult situations, unweaving webs, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Wayland here is really good at, hunting things down, survival techniques.
I see. So those skills get you a job as a dishwasher, a hostess, and a garbage boy?
It would seem,
Yes,
and that's
sir.
why we're here. We feel that our skills would be better utilized by your company.
I see. He then hands your papers to the guard, who then hands them to you. And he says, I may have a job or two. Come with me. And he starts walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
Right. I'll follow up, but I'll still hold Wayland really close to me, but I'll also be starting to kind of stay super close to Kairos' right side as well. Not want to be far apart from anyone.
Yeah.
Okay. As he leads you into this building, it's lined with stone pathways, almost in a just a very regimented format. So you have one central hall and then halls breaking off at each given interval. And he takes you down one of these hallways and brings you to a room and says, please, have a seat.
Yes, sir. She'll sit down with Wayland.
And you, sir?
Oh, yeah, I'd sit down.
Okay.
I thought that was implied. Sorry.
No,
I was taking notes again.
As you all sit down, he says, I will return shortly, and then closes the door. As you look around, you see that this seems to be an interior room, no windows outward other than a few candles surrounding.
Gee.
And after a short period, you hear a clicking sound.
Like, what kind of clicking are we talking about? Like a high pitch clicking or like a low pitch?
It is a single click that seemed to come from the direction of the door.
Of course it was.
Oh, boy.
And as you sit there, from a vent beneath the table in which you sit, gas starts to pour out.
You fucking kidding.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Well, wait, hold on. Hold on, wait. I need to fact check something on myself real quickly.
Mhm.
Hold on. Hold the phone. So if I don't need to breathe, the
Mhm.
gas doesn't bother me, right?
It sure doesn't.
And this is like a barred door?
I just don't.
It seems to be a solid iron door.
Piss.
So one of you doesn't need to breathe.
What about Wayland?
Who cares about Wayland?
He seems to breathe.
He's already a zombie.
If
He can't
out
turn
of-
into more of a zombie.
He seems to be able to. He seems to
Wait, what?
breathe either out of habit or out of necessity. You're not sure which.
Wayland, and she kind of shakes a little bit. Are you okay?
He says, "It smells funny in here," and he falls over.
Wayland? She will immediately go to his side and try to wake him up.
How many vents are there?
Seems to be one major vent underneath the table.
Okay. Immediately, like once they start pouring in, Kairos would try to use the web spell to like completely cover up the vent and like start throwing things on top of it to like stop smoke from pouring in. Like if there's like a bucket or anything to just kind of cap it.
Okay. first, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Let's say.
Oh,
Okay. You can tell that there's something up with this smoke. It doesn't hit you quite yet, but you cast that web spell, and you just start. You maybe snap the legs off the table, flip it upside down on top, and just start piling stuff on. While Vivian, you move over to Waylon's side to check and see if he is okay. Seems to still be breathing.
is he breathing? Okay.
Yeah.
And then
Those bastards! I knew something was up.
Kairos like puts his hand up to like as if to say like don't speak. And then looks around the room real quick. Is there anything that stands out that's of interest?
You seem to be in an otherwise unimpressive room. Stone walls, the iron door leading outward. There seems to be a mirror in here.
That's weird. But like nothing else really of interest.
Not really.
Okay. Kairos would.
Can I?
Well,
Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I would be moving to the side of the door and motioning for Vivian to do the same. But before I would do that, I would start like coughing intentionally, and then like making like noises, and then just like slam something onto the ground, and then motion for Vivian to move over to the other side, and have him.
I'll follow.
Kairos would move like one on each side of the door, kind of a thing, but like far in the corners.
Okay. Give me
I'll follow.
Give me I suppose a performance or a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do a performance?
If you're also doing the same thing, then sure.
Damn. Well, I
mean,
did better.
It seems average. Like you're certainly not winning an Oscar, but
Yeah.
you certainly get the point across.
Give me a turn.
We're not punching Kevin Hart, or not Kevin Hart, whatever. Chris Rock.
Chris Hart. Chris Rock, yeah, gosh. Chris
What is
Rock,
up with you two? Jesus. Do all black people look alike to you? Is that the problem here? Huh?
No. In my work at IRL, someone else was confused as to whether it was yes. And I had to explain, no, it was Chris Rock.
I see.
Unless it's Will Smith. I know his name.
Yeah.
I see. Anyway, so you start coughing at either side of the door. You start throwing things on the ground to simulate, you both
just like
hitting
just
the
like
floor.
one large thing, even if it's like the mirror and like tipping it over, just smash.
Smash. Okay. And after a few minutes, you're sitting there quietly, expecting to hear footsteps coming down the hallway. And you do.
Fantastic.
You hear a single set of footsteps coming towards you, just the sound of iron on stone. And then you hear a large click from the door.
So while we were waiting, I would have messaged Vivian and said, as soon as that door opens, I want you to make your escape, run out, run out. I will be right behind you, and we will close the door. Don't wait for me if I'm not there when you close the door.
What do you mean not wait for you?
It's fine.
But also by the time Mendoza did all that acting, she would have bundled up Waylon. She's not just going to leave his body here. She's going to do what she does. She would take her like cape that she usually wears, wrap him up in a bundle, and tie it around her body so that he's secure on her person.
Just essentially just a big baby carrier.
Come to think of it, keep the door cracked slightly until I'm out there with you. Enough that I can see the outside in the hallway.
What if something happens to you?
Well, then run, obviously.
I can't just leave you here. That wouldn't be right.
I've been itching to use my magic anyway.
Well, if you're itching for a fight, you know I'll fight by your side.
So
Let's see how this shakes.
as
I
you all are
suppose
doing
you
this,
will.
where exactly are you two? So I know you're on the side of the door. Are you on the same side? Are you each flanking the door? Like, how's this working?
Yeah.
You're flanking the door?
Flank.
Okay.
Flanking the door.
So after you hear that large click, the iron door swings outward, so away from you. And standing in the doorway is again that human, black hair, black armor. As he kind of looks around from where he's at, takes a couple steps into the room.
What does he do?
He looks around. Is there anything you want to do before he turns around in your general direction?
Well, does it look like he's like I feel like the vent would be in the center of the room, right? So
Mhm.
like I feel like what is his reaction to seeing that? Is it like is he impressed or is he annoyed?
More annoyed than anything. By the way, this is the gentleman that you're seeing. Come in. That one. He doesn't go to like physically investigate the pile. He does step a few steps forward to make sure there's nothing on the other side of it and just give a general glance. But after he's finished
Well, as soon
investigating, he will start to turn around.
Yeah, as soon as he gets a few steps into the room, I mean, Kairos would have done message to say now, as if to say like run and get out of the room. And then as soon as Vivian starts to make a break for it, he would do the exact same thing. And then if she makes it out of the room before this guy can react and Kairos has a view of the outside of the door, Kairos is going to Misty step all the way to the other side and slam the door shut and try to lock it.
Okay. So you Misty step out of the room. You slam this iron door shut, all the while Vivian, carrying Wayland, starts to run down the hallway that you all came to enter this place through. You reach down to try and lock and realize that it's a keyhole.
Shit.
And there doesn't seem to be a key in it.
Ball sacks. Well, time to run.
So you just start running as well.
I expeditious retreat my ass as we're running.
Okay. So as you're running away, you see the door actually slightly, like slowly open, almost creak open, as you see the human bring a pair of fingers up to his mouth and just whistle loudly. I assume you're both dashing your way out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Triple dashing, double dashing.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do.
Die.
We're gonna do a very short skill checks.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna do this essentially as a group. I want each of you to roll me 3 athletics checks, and we'll just do them one at a time. I'm gonna take the average, and we'll see what happens. So give me your first round of athletics checks. More so just to dash and get away from here, dodging and weaving down the hallway.
Did we have inspiration at any point? I forget. I don't have it marked, so I don't think we did.
You did at some point.
I don't think we ever used it.
If you want to,
I never used
sure. Why not? You got 1 die of inspiration. You can use it now, or you can use it on a different roll.
Not yet.
I rolled okay, so not yet.
Right. So you get a 15.
Well,
Vivian.
let me see what I get first.
Ah, yes.
I use my inspiration.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I can't imagine why. Okay.
Well, we take both of us. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
not what we're cut out for.
No, it's not.
No.
Oof.
So let's see. That's what, like 13 and a half? Yeah, that'll be fine. So you initially run out of the hallway. There are a few guards trying to grab you as you pass by. Kairos, one catches like the edge of your sleeve. It tears a little bit, but you're able to get away.
Okay.
For the second round, give me athletics or acrobatics.
I am better at
Okay.
acrobatics.
Same.
I did worse.
I
Clearly.
fall and face plant on something, but
Mhm.
use my chronal shift to do it again.
All right.
Or see that happening instead, I should say. A little better.
Okay. Again, you end up at like a 12 and a half. So you're running. Maybe a couple guards kind of post up in front of you trying to grab you. Vivian, with Wayland strapped to you, you managed to vault over one of their backs. Kairos, you see yourself tripping and almost falling into this guard's arms. But instead, you actually choose to make it work for you. You fall forward, but you actually slide between his legs before he's able to grab you. And you pop yourself back up.
We call that failing forward, kids.
Oh, yeah. Now, for this third round, you can technically use any skill if you can justify it.
Okay.
A skill with which you're proficient.
That we're proficient in?
Yes.
Okay, well, what I would like to do is I would like to I'd like to use my form of dread, so my bones just start elongating as I quickly start to run up the side from like the floor to the side of the wall and just start spider climbing my way up and then crawling on top of the ceiling out of reach to intimidate them, but also my form of dread because it's scary.
Okay, very forward of you, but sure. Give me an intimidation check. Not bad.
19.
You see a number of guards that are chasing you just stop in their tracks. What about you, Kairos?
And I'm hoping with that, distract them with that intimidation to be like, what the fuck is that shit? That way Kairos can have more to get by.
She's gonna eat that child.
She's gonna eat me.
I would like to
out.
investigate my surroundings for a faster escape route.
Sure.
No. Your options are that, or I can do a history check or an arcana check.
Technically, well, okay. So you technically could use history to remember your path outward.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
You could investigate. In my brain, investigating takes longer to do.
Okay, that's a good point. Just because the player was stupid doesn't mean the character wouldn't have thought to do history and think of the way out. So I like that suggestion. I will take the history suggestion. I was thinking normal history.
Sure.
So, yeah, Kairos is going to try to remember his tracks. And
14. You didn't take any kind of like super secret path to get here. You went down a couple hallways. You're able to pinpoint where you need to turn to get out of here.
Okay.
Also, let me just have the record.
Yeah, get your temporary hit points.
Oh yeah, might as well.
So between Vivian's form of dread stopping a number of guards in their path and you knowing the way out of here, you're able to call back to Vivian and say, look, we're almost there. We need to go. And it seems like at this point, only a handful of guards seem to still be tailing you. You are able to hear amongst the extreme shuffle of ironclad feet chasing you down. There seems to be one pair of slower footsteps that are still pursuing.
Mr. Cool Guy.
But ultimately, you come to a large set of wooden doors that were your entrance into this building.
Are they open?
They are currently closed, but it doesn't seem like they are barred.
Suspicious. Okay, I guess we try to open them.
Okay.
If there's no alternative.
On this particular path, no. So as you push the doors open, you see the stairs going downward. You see the two guards that are at the bottom of the steps turned in your direction. And flanking either side of each of those guards are two of those faceless metal automatons bearing these large tower shields, just standing ready behind them. And still you hear those slow footsteps coming from behind you.
We're gonna run. Right? I mean...
Is there anything else that you'd like to do immediately?
Not me.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have a clear way to exit right now, do we?
Not.
Do I see the person tailing us?
So it doesn't take long, but yes, he actually starts to part the group of guards that are chasing you. And among his footsteps, you also hear the slow sound of him clapping.
Then when I see him appear, I would use message immediately to say, "What do you want?" But a lot more dramatic than that.
What do you want?
Yeah, pretty much.
He continues clapping, ignoring your message.
Bitch.
And when he gets about 45 feet from you, he stands, looks at you both, and says, I think we need to have a little chat. And I think you two need to take a little bit of a trip. At which point you see some of the autonomous guards from the bottom of the stairs start moving in your direction. And that's where we're going to end for today.
Oh.
Damn.
What a bitch.
Bitch. Asshole. My God.
Play hooky for one day.
I know, right?
He's the truant officer, don't you know?
You know, this is all, in a way, undergrad admission's fault.
Yeah? In a
the only reason I didn't
very
go to work last
tangential
week.
way.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason I didn't go to work. It was because I wasn't here last week. And I wasn't here last week because of admissions.
Meanwhile, I went to see Poppy in Milwaukee.
Yep.
Oh,
just
man.
wanted to be the best dishwashing boy who ever existed. Is that so hard to
I
understand?
fully intended to start my career as a dishwasher.
I wanted to learn from the best. Theo and I were going to start a business.
I was ready to talk my way through everything.
Would have been fine. Would have been good. Would have made an honest living. But now, here we are.
Now here you are. And about this time, as they're slowly sinking in on you, it's probably getting close to evening time. The sun is only maybe a half hour from setting behind the walls of this city. So we'll see what happens next week.
Magic.
Magic. Yeah. So neither of you, y'all just being ballsy with magic now.
Hey, man, when push comes to shove,
I'm in danger.
Fuck it. Yeah,
and I need to protect my friends. I'm protecting my friends.
Yeah.
That's it seems for me.
So we'll see what happens next week. So thanks, folks, for watching. We'll see you same bat time, same bat place. Hopefully with more bat people. And y'all have a good week.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.